But when it got hot, homegirl disappeared. She had a lot of turnovers.
Raven Johnson put the clamps
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Remember
A lot
what
of
they did? Remember what she did to Raven Johnson last year?
mm-mm.
You remember?
Uh,
Remember when Raven Johnson at the 3-point line, they would pass her the ball, and Caitlin would just wave her off like, "I'm not even going to guard you." You don't remember that?
no, I didn't watch it last year. No.
Yeah, she would wave. She would stay in the paint. She was like, "I'm not even guarding." And so Raven said, "I worked on my game," and they didn't put her in. It was almost like keeping a bulldog. Like, she was keeping her first court. Like, I ain't gonna let you in yet. I want you to get your lather. I want you to get your lather up. And then when the second quarter came, just shut her down. Just shut her down. Blocking shots, stealing the ball, all it just shut her down. Welcome to the First 40 with the squad. It's Black Thor Ice Water and Puma. We're going to talk about the Lady Gamecocks. Congratulations, Dawn Stanley. I'm telling you, Black, Dawn Stanley was about to get some tears from me, man, because that was so emotional at the end of the game. It was they went undefeated. This was a team, lost five starters, and this was the most unlikely, like she kept saying, most unlikely team to be undefeated and to come back the way they did and to win a national championship. And you could just feel the weight just lift off her after that. And man, I was sitting there like, you talked about the game.
Well, I think she got some for big boss. Let me tell you, she did, man. When it was basically over, to see her walk and when she couldn't compose herself, I couldn't, bro, because I was happy for her, man. I felt that moment for her, and I love what she said when she finally got to when she got to the microphone, took a while to compose herself. And I'm telling you, man, I've been watching, sports for a long period of time. And the things that you mentioned, when you think about it, basically all the players that basically left, went elsewhere, and kind of starting fresh, and how they basically played and won every single game, which takes a lot, bro. I mean, you talk about, you look at some of the men's teams, whatever, they win like 36, maybe lose 3. You think about every game, no matter who you're playing, you're out there, you're battling, and they're finding a way to win. But they're unselfish, man. That team is, the epitome of unselfishness, and it comes from her. I mean, really, she sets the tone, it comes from her. They believe, they buy in. I mean, name me the team that can throw rookies out on the floor and get what they got. They had their bench, I think, gave them over 35 points yesterday. Over 35. And when it's time for someone to come in and go out, they're not sweating. So yeah, man, she's something to behold. The way she carries herself, the way she carries the team, what she has done in South Carolina, it's amazing, man. So yeah, when she lost it, I tried. I couldn't hold back, bro. Those moments, are rare in the sense when you could basically tap into somebody else's emotions and feel it. They're great moments for me. So man, congratulations to her. Congratulations to her young ladies, what they have done. And yeah, man, that to me, that was something I always remember. Always remember.
All right, Ice. Dawn Staley went 109-3, which is unheard of in the last 3 years, and with the South Carolina team. And you know how go back to our shows. You know how I felt about them losing to Iowa. I didn't think that game was on the up and up because of the superstar they have there in Iowa. And I also didn't like how they try to make it about Clark, even after this feat that South Carolina did. They try to make it about her and how she uplifted. No, we were watching South Carolina. I had nothing. It had nothing to do to me. It had nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. She's a good player. Wish her the best. But it was about South Carolina for me. Ice?
No, I mean, I get it. I mean, Caitlin Clark has done some amazing things. And, I think the thing that a lot of people really like about her is, to me, is the range, bro. I don't know. You've never really seen a woman shoot that deep. That range was amazing, and she's faced a lot of challenges and coming up. So, of course, with her breaking the scoring record, especially with the media, they love her, and they're gonna, push her up there to make sure that she got the as much of the love as she could. But I think Dawn Staley said it best. This was prior to them playing, right? I guess at the press conference, she says, "Oh, she's a generational talent. She's top notch. She's this, she's that," and she says, if she wins, the championship. You might consider a GOAT. That's what she said. Might consider a GOAT. She said, if like, nah. I mean, we still recognize your generational talent, but we ain't giving you this. We're not giving this up. And I salute Iowa for they won some games I didn't think they would, right? I thought they stepped up and beating LSU was major for them. But then coming around, I think that when you finally got to the final game, it's to the point where South Carolina is loaded, man. And Don Staley released the hounds, and I don't mean that in a derogatory manner. She released everything she had. Everybody was coming off the bench; they were enthused. I think literally Don Staley said, "Look, we're gonna. I don't know, like she said, I don't know what this team was gonna turn into, but if they kept getting closer. She probably marked the date when they will probably have a rematch. If we do play them, we're gonna be ready." And they were ready for her. And I think I like Iowa's team. But when I say this with all respect, that I just think talent wise and also in the moment. What I mean by that is when you are in the moment, people act differently. I think that South Carolina had more players that were prepared for the big time. And Iowa's team prior to that game, they did everything you could ask for. When Caitlin Clark was off, they had this and that. But when you start seeing them getting tired, only playing 5 people, and missing free throws, and in the moment they needed them to kind of rally. And you can see later on, like in the third quarter, like they was looking around at each other. Even when they got close, Caitlin Clark was really frustrated. And I think too, I mean, I love her. She don't quit, but you could just tell when she was pushing off and trying to just get whatever. It was like, this a wrap, man. And South Carolina was like, we're not even mad. We ain't gonna fight you. We're just gonna beat you. And I think that's what it said to me about Don Staley, because they came out prepared, and they were not gonna take no for an answer. We're gonna beat you. You might get 50. You're a great player. We're not saying that, but we're a great team.
I got to give it to Johnson. Last year, Caitlin tried to clown you by not guarding you on the 3-point line, and you made the difference in locking Caitlin Clark down. I mean, locking her down, because I think she broke a record. Caitlin Clark, I'm speaking of, 18 points in the first quarter. And then after that, it was like slim pickings, blocking shots, stealing the ball, just up in her and frustrating her. You can see Caitlin looking at the referees like, are you going to make the call like you did in the other games and bail me out? And no, there was no bailout. There was no bailout. That was just strictly good D. And even she had to admit that they're just really good. They're just a really good team. So again, congratulations to the Lady Gamecocks and Dawn Staley. Girl, stop trying to make folks cry up in here. She preached a sermon and a benediction. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my. So now there are 2. Tonight's game, that's why we're going to cut this show short. Tonight's game, DJ Burns, you let me down, bro. You let me down. I thought you were going to give Edie some problems, man. And you just talking to him like, I'm going to figure you out. Dude, it's too late when you're in the game trying to figure them out. But Ice, you had the Final Four. UConn struggled a little bit, but they showed why they're UConn and why they're the champions. And then North Carolina State and Purdue. North Carolina State made a great run, but they ran up against a juggernaut in Purdue, and now you have a number 1 seed against a number 1 seed.
Yeah, when you look at from the standpoint of Alabama gave all that they had, right? And they were banging and trying to do what they had to do. UConn, they're strong as heck. They have so many people that get things done, and you gotta give Coach Hurley a lot of love too, because it's like he understands what they need and what they need to do at the right time. And I think this experience from last year really helped them as far as moving forward. And I think some people are still waiting on them to play somebody that's really gonna challenge them. And I think they're on such a high right now, like they were last year in the tournament. We talked about the guards at Kansas State, the little dudes, and all the other stuff. They just like on a mission. So, and they're showing you we're ready to try to repeat. On the flip side, though, you got Purdue versus North Carolina State. Kudos to North Carolina State. Hell of a victory, hell of a ride. 8 straight, something to that effect. But their issues came where, and I told my brother, I said, I know everybody's liking the big fella, he's doing this and that, but he looked like at some point he got a shape, bro. He looked like he was gassed. And Edie was like, bro, I'm that, I belong in the league, bro. And he was trying to push him, dude was like, whoop, whoop, whoop. And there's nothing he could really do. And then after a while, all you had was the one guard that was shooting. They couldn't get shots, they couldn't score any points. And the one thing I think really hurt them, North Carolina State, as they were trying to come back is, and I think it's something we've seen with Purdue all year long. They were getting tired, and with Purdue, you had to slow the guards down, right? It was an Edey show. But you cannot allow, some other teams you might be able to do this, but you cannot allow the Purdue guards to stand wide open at the three-point line, trying to see whether or not, like they had the fair, shooting, trying to win some prizes, and they wide open. They will kill you. You got to get out there. If you make them struggle, you got a chance to win. If you let them do what they're doing, and Edey is balling too, it's going to be hard. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. But I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I'm looking forward to the two big guys to go after one another. I think UConn, like I said, they are really loaded. Otherwise, I think the guards for Purdue, again, are going to have to shoot the ball well and play D. But I think I would not be surprised to see Edey go for about 42, bro. I think
42.
That bad. Huh?
42.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Bro, I'm just saying, because he want to win that bad. I'm not saying he's going to make them win. I'm saying dude is trying to win this game, bro. He can play. I give it to him. I think he's going to take a hell of an effort. If he scores, I'm just saying, he scored 18 points, they ain't winning. He's going to have to step in, he's going to have to show his game. And maybe that's far-fetched to some, but he's going to have to score a lot of damn points. Because if he does not, and the other guys are not hitting that jumper, they'll get blown out by Connecticut. He's going to have a hell of a Herculean effort. I think they're going to try to win this game.
All right, Black. I'm still looking at the scores for the March Madness. You're at 94. I'm at 83. Ice is at 72, 67. I'm thinking if they get up 160 points, I'm going to look for a loophole, man. I'm still not conceding in this. I'm still not conceding. Your thoughts about the Final Four?
Anyway to ungroup Black Thor. I know. Anyway. Damn the eclipse. That's unglued Black Thor. That's what
like 45. I ain't conceding. I ain't even coming to the White House yet.
I'll say like what Coach said when we put it on before. I'll say a little different. You can crown me. You can crown me now. You can crown me later, but you're going to crown me. Anyway, let me just say this, man. UConn and Alabama, their first half basically gave UConn what they could give them. They really did. They came out, they were shooting outside, it was knocking down, and they had some players, man. I mean, that one player that plays with 100%, I think his last name is Nelson, that transferred there this year, hell of a player. It's just that UConn, to me, I watched them, the times I watched them in the early part of the season, I was paying attention to them, he really wasn't playing anyone. But as I noticed, as they start to play better teams, something they do at halftime, bro. That coach makes halftime adjustments. He goes in, he's not even thinking about it. It's like, yeah, they're doing this, thus we're doing this. But, he's real nonchalant. But they come out, they're like a second half team, bro. You see what they did a couple of games ago where they basically went on a 30-point run. And that's what they do. They find out what you're doing in the first half. They notice your weaknesses. And they can play so many type of games. They're versatile to play so many different type of games. To me, that's where they are right now. I mean, they just basically have that extreme confidence to where they'll figure out what you're doing. They know their coach is going to put them in a good position. Then they just feed off them. They run. Because if you look at the team, it's not really dominant players. There's not like an Edey over there, but you put them all together in that bench, they come off, man, and with the coaching, they're just too much. I like that North Carolina State made as far as they could. And I'm going to tell you something, man. I know over the years, the past year or two, you looked at Edey, this ain't the same cat, bro. This cat has worked on his game. I watched him previously playing North Carolina State. He was doing drop steps, doing move, going with his left, right hand. I was like, I still believe UConn could take them down, but I think they're going to have to basically find a way to send a double team to him fast and furious and make sure he kind of passes the ball out and force other players to win. I mean, other players to kind of beat them. But Edey's something to be reckoned with. I mean, he's just not your average 7'2", 7'4", 7'6" guy that, flailing around. This cat believes in, his confidence. He's worked on his game. He's polished. And when the cat talks, man, I'm like, is that him? Because it sounds like there's a brother up in there. It sounds like there's a brother hidden up in Edie. So and he has some dog in him. This cat has some, it's not a gentle dog. Well, if it's necessary, he brings out that dog. So win or lose for Purdue or UConn, they're both, as far as I'm concerned, they're champions to get this far. The tournament has been great when I think about it. We saw who thought Alabama would make it that far. Who thought North Carolina State would make it that far? I mean, we all picked teams that basically kind of whizzed out. But for the most part, man, the tournament kind of lived up to the billing. It has been madness. And I was expecting to see a good game today, man. But I'm happy for Edey. And I know, he's going to come out. There's going to be a lot of teams that pass on him. But I'll say this. If I was a team like Golden State, maybe picking last in the draft, late in the draft, I would take a pick on that, bro. I would take a pick on him, keep him back. I mean, if he can go and give you fouls and rebounds, come on, man. You already have a team that scores. So hopefully some general manager is smart enough to see that, because that cat deserves to play in the NBA.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this, and it might be my last second shot too. Both UConn teams, the women's and the men, should have been in the finals. And, we all saw what happened with 9 seconds left, and they called a offensive foul on UConn, which took them away from even trying to score on that. So there's a lot of funny business happening in some of these games. And a lot of people like to call me conspiracy theorist, but hey, the ratings have been high with Caitlin Clark, so it's almost like they were trying to just force her into the final. Anyway, got another story. Calipari. I wasn't surprised about this. Black moves to Arkansas, and there was a tweet when they lost in the against Oakland in the tournament, and saying he better not come back to Kentucky. And he said, you know what? I don't have to. I can go to Arkansas. And I want your thoughts about that. And who do you think could replace him? Because they're talking about Billy Donovan here in Chicago, that he is the top choice that they want. If he doesn't go, then they're looking at the former Villanova coach. What's your thoughts, man?
I'm going to tell you something. I mean, I'm not surprised, because you and I talked tonight that Kentucky lost. I said, there's no way. I said, he can't go back. He should not be continuing to coach Kentucky. Arkansas, you're going to win some games. You're going to get some picks, but you're not going anywhere. I'll say this, man. I'm not sure who they should drop in there. I think Jay should wait. If you're talking about Villanova ex-coach, I'll wait for it. I'll wait for another job, bro. I wouldn't take that job. Because as you see, you got to win in Kentucky, bro. You can't come in Kentucky. I'm surprised he lasted this long, but, they kept believing he was going to kind of turn things around. Speaking of Calipari, Billy Donovan, if he takes the job, I'd rather see him go, because I know he wants to leave Chicago. Let's be honest. The NBA has not been friendly to Billy Donovan. It just hasn't been. So I prefer Billy Donovan to take the job and Jay go somewhere else so he can basically build and recruit and start lower, because whoever goes there, man, that's going to be a hotbed. It's going to be a hotbed. It's going to take you a while to kind of really recruit, get your people in, and kind of get that, that system back up strong. I wouldn't touch it. I would not touch it. Personally, as a person that either one of them, I would not touch it, man. To me, it's not the most desirable job. I wouldn't want it. Just based on the history alone and based on what just happened, it ain't going to take long for the boosters and the fans to turn against you if you're not doing it quick enough.
You're absolutely right, Ice. Kentucky doesn't have rebuilding in their vocabulary, and you're close to that state. I've been around that state. They don't have rebuilding in their vocabulary. But I think why Calipari is leaving is because he's going to have to rebuild. He was going to have to rebuild in Kentucky, and they weren't going to get any better. And he was going to have to get players who are going to be willing to stay there 2 or 3 or even 4 years. And, that ain't enough time for the Kentucky faithful. But your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, I mean, Calipari, I think he saw the writing on the wall, right? It's like, okay, what I used to do is not working anymore. And the tournament's different, maybe because of NIL, whatever it may be. But he saw that his approach is not working with the one and done. He's not getting the right one and dones, or whatever it may be. So they've been getting outs the last couple of years. I think secretly, though, this is like a win-win. I think he was like, you know what, I'm kind of done with this. And Kentucky was like, yeah, we ready to move on too. So if he found a place where he could go, they were like, we're not gonna say nothing until it's ready, but you figure out where you want to go, and we'll get to figure out the information, figure that shit out, and let you get the hell out of here. Because we ready to move on, because we deserve better. Losing to Oakland was, I think, just totally unacceptable to the folks down in Kentucky. So yeah, I think it was just like All right, yeah, I got a spot. All right, sign the paper, send it over to Mr. Johnson. He okay it. Good luck. God bless you. We don't say nothing about nobody being mad at nobody. You just out of here. And I think that's what they did. Now they're ready to move forward. In regards to who the next coach could be, I really thought, but he signed an extension. Somebody like Nate Oates would have been, would have been good for them because the way he comes in, the way they play, what type of offense that they play, I think it would have been good. But looking at it all the way around, there's some other coaches I think that could take the job. But I think Billy Donovan would be perfect for this, and I'm gonna tell you why. Kentucky basketball, the fans are they're thirsty, they're hungry, they want to win. And one thing Billy Donovan can do, what he did at Florida was amazing. I mean, you think I watched them play Ohio State like twice when they won back-to-back national championships. He can recruit, and he can recruit good kids. Kids want to play for him. And you imagine, you take Billy Donovan now, granted they want to win, but they're going to be a little patient because he's not Cal. He's going to take his time. He's going to do what he has to do, develop those players. And all he got to do is turn it around just a little bit. And I can see him starting again like he did at Florida. Plus, too, he had his run at the NBA. That gets old. You ain't winning no championships. It was nice what you did in Chicago, but let's be real. Now you got to worry about your top players. We don't know what's going on with the top players. Are they leaving? Are they coming back? Is Ball ever gonna play again? What's my other guy that came over from the offseason? All these guys are, it's too many questions. You go back to Lexington, they're gonna spend the money. You ain't gotta worry about NIL, and you get to start all over in college basketball, which he loves, right in the heart of SEC. And the fan base is gonna love him just like they did at Florida. I think he would be a hell of a job, considering it'll be a relief for him coming out that NBA. And I'm sure his wife is like, "Can we get the hell out of here?
Yeah, get me back to Kentucky. They shooting.
Can we go to Lexington and just worry about the simple things and all the stuff, people not coming to the games and all that other bullshit,
Yeah.
So I think if I'm Kentucky, I'm like, you know what? This is the dude we want right here.
Yeah, the United Center ain't too far from the West Side where they like to shoot. So yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah. Another name that was floating around, and I'm gonna move past this because I ain't even gonna look at Black. But there was another name, Rick Pitino. They were talking about Rick Pitino trying to pull him out of St. John's, but I'm not sure that they're ready for that. All right, hot takes, Ice.
Yeah, my hot take is something I've been looking at. I'm really interested in this. With the explosion and the excitement surrounding women's college basketball and Caitlin Clark, especially, they just, now they're talking about, well, the momentum needs to move forward because women's basketball is going crazy. Wait till they get to the WNBA. Angel Reese. Okay, do y'all really believe this momentum that we have right now is going to make its way over and make this great comeback, WNBA, make it this hot thing that we've been talking about forever? Do y'all think this is going to happen because of the emergence of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and some other folks into the WNBA?
Black?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. College sports, women's college basketball, they act like people weren't paying attention, really weren't watching. And for years, people were. I mean, I go back to the first time UConn ladies basketball team won. I've been following it ever since then, man. Tennessee back then, there was battling Tennessee, UConn. I mean, come on. That's legendary. So you've always had people kind of peek in and leave. Now, they kind of peeked in a little bit more with her. Same thing, I'm going to kind of equate this to NFL. They had a lot of players people that may have kind of paid attention because Taylor Swift was there. Are those same people going to be watching next year? Probably not. More than likely, they won't be watching. Some of the young kids, young girls that watched last year, they get a little glimpse of her. If she's not there, they're not going to watch. So I say the drama was there in college league basketball. When she moves forward, when she gets to the WNBA, the drama is not going to be there. She's going to be playing with better players. She's going to be playing with players that are going to basically look to kind of teach her a lesson. That's going to get old real quick. They're going to stick around and keep watching her? I don't think so. So I don't see the motivation. I think we can enjoy it for the moment, and I hope that it does. I'm not trying to speak against it and don't want it to. I just don't think it's realistic to think so.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do, and I saw this real quick, and I saw it last year too. They're trying to make this Bird magic moment in women's college basketball, and it's not that. I remember Bird and Magic. The whole country. I mean, not like the whole country wasn't involved in this because the ratings were like 14 million, 12 million one game, but that was like everything stopped when that happened, and they really kind of jump started the NBA again. I don't see that happening with Caitlin going, Reese going into the WNBA. I think they will try to publicize it and try to kind of get it going, but I think it'll just fade out after a while because they have to get their marketing and scheduling down in order for them to make a really big impact and try to keep some of this momentum going. I think Black is right. We've always been watching women's college basketball. It's just that everybody else has kind of got into it. And because of the big stories, I guess because of the marketing of some of the players, but I think that will die down after a while and we'll get back to regular folks that were watching it before, watching it again. Ice?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. But they are like, oh, it's going to be this, and they're going to change it where they're going to start looking towards getting a charter company so the women can get the planes. I'm like, man, y'all, you think the WNBA is going to turn over this leaf overnight? Nah. I mean, the NBA is still looking at it like how much money you bring it to the table, and who's going to really be definitely adding money to the pot because they're talking about these sponsors and whatnot again. You got to have somebody, give somebody something to look at or look towards to and look forward to. Also, too, they're saying Caitlin Clark's going to be the number 1 pick, which means she's going to Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great, but are you going to win?
Yeah, that's
I mean,
not good.
I'm not the biggest Diana Taurasi fan because I think she can be over the top sometimes. But on her show, on one of the shows she talked about, she said, look, you get all that glory and everything you did over there in college basketball. But she's like, it's a grown women over here. And they've been making money a long time, playing basketball a long time. And she said, you know what's gonna happen when they get over here? Reality gonna set in. So I hope you had a nice little run over there. You bring your ass over here, basically. You're gonna get it. And she said that with a straight face, like I wish you would. And I'm sitting there going like, ooh, ooh. So I mean, I like Caitlin Clark, but you ain't getting no fouls and she's getting over in Iowa City. Especially with Diana Taurasi, well, she loves contact. So I mean, I hope they do well, but I think that it's going to take more people coming over, and I'm not sure because the WNBA is a different game, man. It just is. And I mean, I said it before. Nobody wants to hear it because nobody wants to have women losing checks. But I said I think you should cut the league down, man. Let's get the best of the best and have them go at each other. I said they did that with the ABL back in the day. It was amazing. I know everybody wants to get some money and everybody want to do whatever, but if it don't make dollar, it don't make sense. So unless we need to have another super team playing against Las Vegas because every year we know what's gonna happen. Old girl over there, the superstar coach, superstar, these people, and they running through it. I'm still waiting for them to get challenged.
Bigger, stronger, faster in the WNBA. Black?
Yeah, my topic, man, is that I saw this recently, actually today. It kind of just made me chuckle big time. They're saying that Boney James, LeBron James' son, is going to hit the transfer portal. At the same time, he's going to enter the NBA draft. He's going to do Duro. He's going to do Duro. And what they're looking for, this is what they're looking for. A team to draft him and not play him for 3 years, but train him and learn how to teach him how to play basketball for 3 years.
Wow. Ice?
Wow. LeBron got that kind of power. Wow. I mean, maybe, I guess, I mean, is he what's the word I want to say? Is Bronny going to be able to kind of slow down and be able to take that down to the point where he might be in the G League for 3 years? Is he, or if not, let's say he's in the league, is he going to be able to handle being on the bench for 3 years to learn, even though his dad told him whatever? Because the NBA is not going to hand him any favors, right? He's going to have to earn that. He's going to have to earn it. And I know it's LeBron, but maybe LeBron will get the Lakers to draft him or whatever the hell he's going to do, and he just keep him under his wing and till he's ready to fly. I know that sounds far-fetched, but I don't know another team that's going to sit there and go, well, you come over here to Orlando and just kind of work on your game. And we hope if you get better, great. But I will say this, though. If I like the idea, if you want to figure out where you at, it doesn't hurt to actually declare for the draft. You can go through all the workouts now, right? You can see where you at, how you came up in the drills, and do you think you're ready, and see where they're not. And if you are not ready, you can go back to school. And Puma, I think I told you before, there's a couple places where he could go. And some people just let him work on his game. They mentioned Ohio State. I don't really know about that one because I think this new coach, Diebler, you know, he might be on thin ice, especially when they should have got that the other guy from that went to Michigan, but that's for another day. But there is at Duquesne, Drew Joyce, who is LeBron's former high school teammate. And in fact, prior to that, his first high school coach, Keith Demrod, was the coach, and now they gave him to Drew Joyce. And we already know how the game works. Brian can go to Duquesne, and Drew will take a chance to let him do his thing. You want to come out there, Division I, they, you know, might have a lot of transfers leaving, but they'll let him work on his game. That's how I see something like that. But I don't know. I just don't know if it's your dad, man. Why? Just go play ball. You don't need the money. I mean, you don't what? Just work, go to Duquesne and work on your damn game, and then get better for at least 2 more years. And then when you're ready, you're ready. But to go sit on the bench and they're gonna be like, man, this dude can't play. They gonna, and he got the heart thing too, which still scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. You know, I was talking to my people the other day, and the first thing came to my damn brain was Reggie Lewis and Hank Gaddis. We talked about that. It scares the hell out of me. So why not take it a little slow? See if you can get your stamina up a little bit at Duquesne or wherever, and take your time.
I watched them play at USC, and what I felt USC was doing is like, we'll put you in 4 or 5 minutes, but you ain't dying on our watch because you got this heart issue. You couldn't even crack the starting lineup. And I think LeBron is doing a disservice to his son. At some particular point as a parent, you got to let your children grow and grow into their own. And you can't always be around and kind of make things easy for them because they're never going to learn. They're never going to really kind of grow into the people that they are. And so I don't think he's going to Duquesne because he wants to go to a big major college and wants to be seen and wants to kind of get the fanfare. I don't know if colleges want to take a chance on him with that heart condition. And if you're an NBA team and you're willing to do that, take a chance on him and have him sit on the bench for a while, you're going to be looking like, you know, Giannis Antetokounmpo's brother who's just sitting on the bench in Milwaukee. That spot could be taken up for a player that can really help them in the playoffs. But they're sitting there because that's his brother, and that makes him happy. So he gets a spot on the team, which is not helping the team. And I think they're going to go out in the first round. I really do. You could use that spot for somebody else, put that dude in the G League, let him develop his game. But I think, you know, it seems like LeBron is kind of putting his hands on it, and he's looking exactly like LeBron. Like, I'm not happy here. I'm taking my talent somewhere else. But, bro, you coming in with four points, you know, off the bench. You can't help nobody. You couldn't help USC. You couldn't help USC. So he wants to go to a winning program. Last I checked, I'd never seen a Duquesne game unless they were in the tournament. He ain't going to be hidden away. So he wants the fame, fortune. He wants to be out there. He wants the NILs and all out there. And that's not the reality of the situation. Black?
You know, when I saw this, I said to myself, Tiger Woods' father, was he a pro golfer?
Nope.
He taught Tiger Woods how to play. Come on. LeBron, you're a pro basketball player. You should have taught your son to be a better basketball player. It started with you, boss. But still, you know, but you've spent the past few years being LeBron. You haven't been a dad to instruct your son how to play. Your son done playing some of the best AUI tournaments, whatever the case may be. He doesn't have it. At some point, you and your son got to realize that. You can do all the manipulation, sit next to the owner, let it touch you on the leg, all this other stuff. It doesn't help your son make a 3-point shot. It just doesn't. And people are starting to find out your son really isn't good. You need to focus in on that. I'm being honest. You can't get to this point now and expect a team to turn him into a better basketball player when he doesn't have the basic skills or the basic knowledge. We all are blessed with certain gifts. Maybe that's just not his gift. That's the reality. And again, I say it again. You should have been his best teacher, his best coach. You've been his dad for these so many years. But you're too busy trying to run after championships instead of getting them ready. Now you want to put them on somebody else's table to get them ready. I'm sorry, man. This is going to get real ugly before it gets better.
Yeah. I hope health-wise, it doesn't affect his health, because he's going into big boy territory, and that ain't gonna be easy. We're gonna table the Major League Baseball report. The Yankees are 8-2 in the last 10. I gave you the we're going to table the NBA. They're going into playoffs, so we'll talk about the play-in and all that next week. Let's go to last second shot. Black, last second shot.
Right there with Dawn Staley, man. I mean, what of a shot. Last second, 3-point shot, a layup shot. Realistically, man, I'm happy I'm able to witness what she has done at South Carolina, what she's done with the team in the last several years. Happy to witness who she has as a woman. Forget as a coach, who she as a woman, how she handles herself, how she understands other women and their families, their situations. I was learning about Camila Cardoso. This young lady came over to America at the age of 15 from Brazil. Brazil hasn't seen her mother for the past, 7-9 years. Look how she helped that woman grow, develop. Come on, man. There's something real special about Dawn Staley. We just have the luxury of being able to view it and see it. Thank you.
Ice?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick there with Dawn. Dawn Staley I remember Dawn Staley when she played college ball, and then watched her as a pro and watched her play on every freaking US Olympic team. And she was always consistent, always driven. One thing I really like about her, the way that she cares about these young women, and the way she develops them, and cares about including the family and bringing them in and saying, hey, here's what we need you to do, giving full effort. I think Black Thor might have alluded to it earlier, and it's a very unique skill. There are a lot of basketball players, great basketball players, legends that have tried to coach, that have been able to be good coaches. It's usually the guy that's on the bench or the woman that's on the bench that really wasn't great. You have some exceptions, right? But they're usually somebody that really sees the game from a different perspective. So Dawn Staley was all world, okay? When you think about point guards, you want her on the team, they always had her connected with USA Basketball. For her to do what she's done at an institution that for a long time really wasn't known for basketball. We ain't talking about Tennessee, we ain't talking about Connecticut, right? You go down to Rutgers back in the day, UCLA, USC. We talking about South Carolina. She set the tone. She set the tone for that program. She set the tone for the legacy, and young girls want to play for her. I mean, just watching them attack and go after what they did, and them being so excited. I'm so happy for her because she's so genuine. And Dawn Staley from Philadelphia, bro. Y'all know about Philadelphia. My auntie lived in North Philly, bro. Was in there, been there, what it's like. It's rough, it's tough. But it just shows you that no matter where you come from or what you do, if you come with the right attitude and the right notion and the right character and the right delivery, anything is possible. Can't tell me UConn, and I know people gonna not like this. UConn, for a long time was was on the king, was sitting on top of the hill. And then Dawn Staley was like, one thing we never done, we never beat UConn at UConn. So she like, look, Gino, you great and all, but it's a new queen in town. A new queen, and that's okay. Gino, keep recruiting, but it's a new queen on the hill.
I was gonna go a different route with my last second shot, but I gotta apologize to the WWE, because when I was channel surfing this weekend, I caught the Hall of Fame. And so I didn't watch all of it. I was skimming through a lot of it. But it was the regular fans there. They were booing different people and stuff like that. It was like not a classy audience out there. And you never claim that the WWE fans are really classy. But they inducted Muhammad Ali, his his wife, Lonnie, inducted him in. Also The Rock. The Rock's grandmother. I didn't know who was a wrestling promoter in Hawaii. And that's why they call him the last boss, because his grandfather was a boss, she was a boss, and then him. But the highlight of it for me was Thunderbolt Patterson and getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. And I have forgotten all about Thunderbolt Patterson. And he gave a sermon. You thought Dawn Stanley's sermon was something. He gave a sermon up there, and they were walking up there to Walker and Kane. And so he was so gracious. But I still don't know where the Hall of Fame is for the WWE. But I appreciate that you put on a nice show, and it was a intro to WrestleMania and all that other stuff. So I apologize. It was kind of funny, and it was entertaining. But I didn't stay the whole 3 hours. I tell you, I didn't stay the whole 3 hours. But I fast forward through most of it. So good job. I was a little bit impressed. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's our show. We will come back next week. Enjoy the game tonight.
You're right, man. Charles Smith is going to the Hall of Fame. His name is on the list. I saw the list. I had to Google the list. I will never, ever, ever watch an induction to the NBA Hall of Fame. I never will.
I saw his name.
Yes, his name is up there.
Just put everybody in. Just put
everybody
in.
Just put him in. Put him in.
Put everybody in.
They putting Jerry West in for the third time.
They're running out of people. Put everybody in.
Charles, man.
For what? What do you do? We should ride up there, man.
I would say you put him in. Like you said before, if you're a nice guy, he's a nice guy. You know, if you're a nice guy and they like you, you deserve it. But NBA Hall of Fame has no meaning to it. No, nothing. I'm sorry.
Put John Starks in there. 3 for 21, 3-pointers. Put Allen Houston in. Put everybody in.
I got to get out of here, man. I got to go. But I had to say, I thought about that. I had to say, because I saw that yesterday. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I looked at it, I just stared at it for a few seconds. I was like, this can't be real. But his name is in the list. It's in the list. It's in the list, man. I don't get it. You can put John Starks in before you put him in.
Yeah, I'd rather John Starks be in the Hall of Fame than Charles Smith. I'd rather put Anthony Mason. Leave him next.
Charles Oakley.
Oakley, yeah. Do not put Charles Smith in it. I'm sorry, bro. He does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
What are you going to say in his speech?
Yeah. I should have dumped it. What are you going to say?
Oh, no, we better not go, man. We get arrested for sure, bro. We get arrested. I would get arrested about that. I remember years ago, I'll say this, I got to go. I should just, honest and truth, man. I had went on a date to a New York Knicks exhibition game in Bridgeport. And that cat stood up waving like this at halftime. It took everything I had not to run down there and go after him. Everything, not to go. I already know I'm going to arrest him, man. I know I would. I'm waving like he's Mr. American. Somebody sit down, man.
I had a hot dog or a beer or something. Just throw it down at him. Charles Smith.
Knicks fans we're still hurting, man. It's like that little kid. We just say shoulder on tears, but we still hurt. That's it.
It's the equivalent of Jackie Smith dropping the ball in the That's how we feel about Charles Smith. That sums it up.